Right now I'm feeling like I'm doing well at step 3. I'm knowing what I want, knowing what I don't want. I'm using my feelings and my emotions to kind of guide where I am.
So you're sensitive to your feelings?
I've always been.
Good.
And I've always done something to make myself feel better if I didn't. I've always avoided things that make me feel bad. Like, I've stopped watching the news, and I'm an educator. And so it's really hard because I had this it's almost like you gave permission for me to understand limiting that because it wasn't making me feel good, and being really aware of that. Yeah. I'm not sure what step 4 and 5 are.
Step 4 is just being really good at step 3. Okay. Step 4 is just being so practiced at it that it just feels like second nature to you.
Like,
and then step 5 is being back in step 1 and not being mad at yourself.
Giving yourself grace.
Understanding the value of step 1. Not giving yourself grace like, well, you're doing something wrong, but it's okay. No, you're doing something valuable. You're still focusing, and you're still choosing, and you're still sifting and sorting. Yeah.
So 4 is more just being there consistently.
4 is just mastering it. 4 is really caring about that bag of marbles. Step 4 kicks in for most when you really get it, that you are responsible for your point of attraction, and that nothing outside of you is going to do that work. You got to do it with your ego.
Yeah, and it's difficult when you realize that. Like you said, it's yay that the universe is working for me, but also accepting that accountability and that responsibility. So
you can call it accountability or responsibility. You can call it privilege. You can call it, the way we would look at it is, we have the freedom to explore. That's why we want you to be nice to yourself about step 1. If you don't give yourself the freedom to explore, you don't give yourself the freedom to choose. And so the sensitivity that you feel, you said, I use my emotions, and we want you to modify that expression a little bit. I feel my emotions. I understand my emotions. I benefit from my emotions. I am aware of my emotions. I understand my emotions. I'm able to modify my emotions. And this is the big one that we're really laying on heavy here today. I find relief from negative emotion, not by looking for other humans to explain it, but by calibrating to my inner being. Once you get that, once you're no longer defending yourself to those who haven't collected the same data that you have, or you're no longer justifying or arguing for your own limitation, it's this feeling that humans have so often. Esther talks to us about this a lot, of feeling right. I know I'm right. I've collected enough data that I know I'm right about this. It feels terrible. I feel terrible, but I know I'm right. Well, when you feel terrible, there's another question to ask. When you feel terrible, nothing is worth being right about that feels terrible. There are a whole lot of things that you can be right about that you don't want to mess around with. You don't want to attract them. You could be right that that police officer should not be out trolling for money and looking for ways to earn revenue because you're not wearing your seatbelt. You could be perfectly right about that. You could have a council of your peers voting, and they could all agree that that's just wrong. But we're just saying, when you push against anything, no matter how right you are, you attract the very thing you don't want into your experience. So if you think that you're not only right, but that you are clever enough that you can change the way the whole world is interacting with itself, then stand on your righteousness and be sure that you're right while you sacrifice your alignment with your inner being, because your inner being doesn't need to prove it's right.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Your inner being knows it's love, and knows blessed, and knows value, and knows good, and knows kind. Your inner being is not measuring itself or you or anyone else against anyone else. And when you get that, you really let yourself off the hook in a big way.